Hi everyone, I'm RajeevNair and this is my final project for CS50P, Sustainability Insights. So my project essentially takes an input of a location from the user, for example, New York or London. Then, using the Open Weather Map API, it finds all sustainability and meteorological related information regarding that location. It compiles all of this information into a PDF report using graphs and libraries such as Matplotlib. So now let's go through an individual function run through of each of the functions of my project before moving on to my unit test. So in project.py, I've imported requests, Matplotlib, report lab, Tkinter, and OS. Now these are all extremely important libraries and functions as we go through the project. We can see that I have two variables here, my API key and my API URL. My API key, of course, allows me to access the information from the API website, and my API URL is the particular area or library that I want to access from Open Weather Map, that is air pollution. Now, moving on to my first function, which was the fetch sustainability data. It took an input of location and I started with geocoding, as in I allowed my function to access data from the geocoding endpoint of openweathermap.org. So as you can see here, the question is location, which we've just inputted. I've used f strings over here, and our API key was the API key mentioned above. So f strings and formatted strings were extremely useful over here. Then our response status code, which was equal to 200. So the second that this entire function was active, it would start collecting data, which was stored in the function or variable data. Now it's saying that if coordinates or if the string coordinates was found within data, it would be able to find the latitude and longitude of the location provided, which would then be extremely important when fetching the air quality, as it would be fetching air quality data using latitude and longitude. Essentially, we're using the air quality index as a proxy for the emissions. Now, else, if no data was able to be found, we would return no air quality data available. Finally, we've got the def create graphs and the def generate PDF, which have more or less the same function. The def create graphs is important because it's able to create graphs that will be further embedded into our PDF. And our def generate PDF, we first of all used C, which is canvas.canvas, to set several base points of our PDF. So we set the font to Helvetica of 12. We set a title of sustainability report for, and again, we used F strings to input the location. So we're not hard coding a location into the code. Finally, we would include the graph in the PDF using the same principle we used in the certificate.py a program by embedding it within. And finally, we would save. Now, Tkinter is extremely important when building the whole GUI, the graphic user interface for the location input. For example, we used root is equal to tk.tk to then create a simple interface. While I do realize that if I had embedded HTML, it would have a better interface as a whole. It would have also taxed on my program's efficiency and overall not been as effective. Now, quickly moving on to my unit test. So I've imported unit test. I didn't actually use PyTest because I believe PyTest was too weak of a tool to use when dealing with larger programs. So I used unit test instead. And I imported several key functions from unit test. That was patch and magic mock. Then over here at patch, I activated requests.get and I started testing each of the individual functions, as you can see here. Thank you very much. That was my project, my final project with CS50P, Sustainability Insights.